Hello everyone, I am back today with another video. This is going to be a ranked game on Strategus against Spion. Now some of you who are more familiar with some of the people in the Stratego community might know that this is a very, very good player. Currently he is only rated at 511 ELO. I'm not actually quite sure how that's even the case. He has an all-time high of over 900 ELO, which is well above what I've ever been able to achieve, which is something about 600 or so. I think I'm about 630 or so right now. I think my all-time best is 650. But needless to say, Spion is usually a much better player than I am. And I would expect him to definitely win a majority of our games. He's a very good player in live tournaments, tournaments that happen in Europe, like World Live Championships and Dutch Championships and other tournaments of that nature. So he's very good. Apparently he's not been, I guess, playing all that well online recently, given his rating. But I would expect him to still bring it for this match. So this will be a very challenging game, I think, to do well in. But I will give it my best shot, and we will see what happens. This setup is just sort of a setup that I've had some fun playing with in the last few matches that I have played. I have been pretty busy recently. That's what I owe to my lack of recording games and also playing. But here we are, and we'll make the most of this game here. So he's opened up with captains in both the middle and the right side. Of course, I know a minor here, and I don't know anything else at this point. I would expect to find a captain over here as well, given that there was a captain here and a captain here. So I'm going to advance with this major. Okay, interesting. I'm going to scout that. That's a captain. Okay. This is probably a scout, given that. Oh, wow. Okay. I guess that was a front row general. I would have expected a scout more than anything that would have probably just taken the major to have two-score opposition so that my major was unable to trap his captain. But a general there is really interesting. That could have been even worse because I could have been like a colonel, like this colonel over here from that flank. So really interesting stuff, honestly. Part of what makes good players really good is their unpredictability and their ability to use that to their advantage. Now, he's going to take this with his captain. I mean, if I don't take this captain, I think he probably just retreats, probably comes down here with a garbage piece, takes out this scout, and gets really good info. I think I'm forced to really just take this piece. He's probably going to take with general, which is the right move, I think. Yeah, and I can't really do anything about that. That's just not really a situation that's really able to be negotiated in a way that's beneficial for me, unfortunately, especially given that his general's in a very aggressive position there. Somehow I'm going to have to try to find a way to force his general out, and I'm going to try to do that with exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going to go ahead and probably bring this sergeant over as well. The more pieces that I probably have over here that are, potentially a good piece like the marshal, I think the more believable that is. So I'll go ahead and put that there. Again, all we know right now is general. I don't really know what this piece is. This could very well be a colonel. And that would just be really sad, but I don't know. I'm going to move up with this lieutenant. I'd probably want to hit this piece with my lieutenant. We've already seen a captain, so unless he has a bomb here, then my lieutenant might be able to take that piece out. A lot of times when we're playing really good players, sometimes it feels like the game is kind of like directionless. Like I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just like hoping not to make a really bad blunder that gives my opponent the game. I think this is probably a garbage piece here, and this is probably like a colonel, but I think it might be worth it to come up with a colonel on the right side, given that his marshal I would expect to be more in the center, accounting for his general being all the way here on the left. So I'm going to try to come up with a colonel here, and of course it's just really bad. Okay, yeah, so that's a scout, as we expected. I'll still come up with this colonel. This piece might jump into action, or maybe this piece, and those are both believable marshals. Okay, so he's not going to do anything to stop me. I'm hoping, yeah, as I said, it's probably not his marshal here. This could be a bomb, I suppose, but I'm just going to hit it. Okay, bomb, yeah. So I guess I'll go ahead and come up with a minor, because what else am I going to do? And I guess why not? That's interesting. I'll do that. I guess I'll take out this minor. If that's what he... Well, I'll leave that piece there then. That's fine. Okay, interesting. Playing pretty risky here. I feel like I'm kind of forced to kind of play risky just by the nature of what he's, like, how he's opened up this game, where he's come down with his general. He's taken two of my majors, or my majors. Alright, so now we have a guessing game. I'm going to go in like this. I feel like he's more inclined to... Oh, interesting. Now, here's an interesting proposition. I can either take this piece, and then maybe make a further deliberation about, you know, attacking down here, or do I retreat that way, or do I go this way? Or I could attempt to try to find out what this piece is with my minor. This is a bit more greedy, and this is a bit more safe, I would say. But I'm going to take this anyway, because I feel like even if I discovered that this is the marshal, I'm going to have some significant trouble getting my colonel to safety with the general here. I'm going to have to try to trade anyway. I'm going to take that. Sergeant, okay, that's fine. Major, okay. I will absolutely take that. I guess he's scared of my colonel coming down in the center. Okay, I'll take that as well. That's good because it gets me a major back. I am down, you know, now an additional lieutenant, but that's okay. I am down 3 lieutenants, actually. Wow, that's a lot. So I'm thinking this is probably a colonel, I'm guessing. I'm also guessing maybe his marshal is either somewhere here or somewhere just not really involved. I think if it's a moved piece, it's here. I think this is a colonel. I'm going to hit this with my minor to confirm. Oh, wow, that's the marshal. Excellent information. Okay, well, I guessed very well then. I just had an inclination that, you know, perhaps he was being aggressive with, like, you know, the piece that I should really be scared of. But for that to be the marshal, that's really, really shocking. Okay. So now I need to make him believe that my spy is in the center, because otherwise I am in deep, deep trouble. And he knows both my colonels, which is not, like, super amazingly ideal. I did do some damage in the center there, and I've got, crucially, the info. I know his general, and I know his marshal. The problem is that against a player of this caliber, knowing information doesn't equate to being able to use that information to get material back. It is just kind of helpful for me if I have that information. But I guess we're going to kind of see where this leads us here, maybe. I'm wondering if that's like a colonel, if I need to come up with my marshal here. Because I haven't seen any colonels. I feel like I have to come up with my marshal here. Well, he did move his colonel away, if that is a colonel. He moved that, when I moved my colonel here, I had the major, or the sergeant, and then that mystery piece here that he moved away, and his marshal was here. Or it might have been in this construction, where I moved here, and then he moved over next to the marshal, and then I took the sergeant. So would he really do that with a colonel like that? I don't know, but I'm going to come up with the marshal anyway, and just have it there, just in case. Okay, I'm just going to put that there, I guess. My general can kind of do whatever it needs to. I'm gonna fire this scout and then, like, bluff his general around with the sergeant, maybe, but I don't know about that. If I come around with my colonel here, then I think that's safe, because he can't reasonably assume that either one of these is not the spy. Yeah, okay, I can do that. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking that I had. Okay, if you want to trade that, then we can trade that, especially because that's an unknown colonel, so by all means, please. Okay. I think I'm going to try to preserve the, like, fact that this is a good piece, because if I don't do anything about this, and if he takes this scout, then that tells him that neither of these are worth anything. Because if I don't take, and then he trades scouts, then that tells him that I didn't care about either one of these. So I think I have to take with my scout here, to at least preserve the idea that this could be good. So I'm going to do that. It's a bit of a waste of a move, I guess, like an unnecessary move, but I think it might be useful in maintaining. Again, he's going to do that, which is fine then. Okay, interesting. I guess I will, if nothing else, I'll take a free miner that I know from up here. Of course, he's not, he's not so bad a player so as to allow me to trap this piece. But he'll discover that bomb, that's fine. I'll take that miner, because, why not? I guess I'm going to go here with my Marshal. Again, he kind of can move in with that, so, like, why wouldn't he, I suppose, is the idea. But, I'd like to think his general is kind of trapped over here, so what if I try to come up here with the Colonel? Is he going to believe? Okay, interesting. Well, okay, I'm going to keep going here with this Colonel. And I'm going to move down, and if he scouts that, I'll move the Sergeant up as a new bluff. And of course, if he moves down again, I'll take with Sergeant like that. Okay, that's fine. Okay, trading unknown colonels. I suppose trading is sort of in his favor here, but I'm fine to trade pieces that are known of mine, pieces of mine that are known. So that's not too bad. So we're down a major, we're up a captain. We are down 3 lieutenants, which is not great. So this piece was not a colonel. It was either a major trying to trade or it's a bluff, which I think it's probably more a major than anything. This major is kind of the only valuable piece preventing my Marshal from being discovered, so I think I want to keep that there. I don't think I want to rush this up and try to trade it. But it's the only major I have left, and I'm not up anything beyond that, except for this captain here. I'm not really sure what to do here. My center is a bit vulnerable, especially with my flag being here. I've exposed the fact that my flag is not over here, although he doesn't know the Marshal. So, I don't know. This is difficult. I'm up the info, but I don't know how to use that info to my advantage, because he has really no moved pieces. And he's doing a very good job of maintaining the attack. He's not really giving me any leeway. He's not like a lotto blitzing noob would be, where they would be up material, then they're going to immediately retreat with their general and Marshal, and then they're going to try to hold down the lead, which gives me the opportunity to counterattack. A good player, as you see here, is not going to do that. He's going to try to keep expending his advantage. I said I wasn't going to bring this major out, but I think it's, honestly the only play I really have here. And this might be a trade, which would be fine, because that's an unknown major. Okay. Oh, wow! He just gave me a captain! Okay, I guess my major wasn't known, because it was always just kind of hanging out here. Wow! My goodness, so he did not like the fact that I took his captain, and that now he's going to take an incredible risk there with his Marshal. I'm now down a major, and I'm up 2 captains, and I'm down 3 lieutenants. If this was my spy, then he just really gave me a big advantage. Unfortunately, it's not, because things usually don't turn out that perfectly against good players. But I think he's assuming that my spy is probably over here where I have moved a lot of pieces, which is true. It is. So the question here is how obvious, is this a really obvious Marshal? And unfortunately I think it is, because it came up to defend this major. And yeah, I think it's obvious. I think if I trade this, then he's gonna get a scout for a general trade, or he might just move down and we might just trade straight up. And I have to worry about 2 sergeants and a captain that have moved, and I have to worry about 2 majors, and I need to trade one. The alternative is, if I think this isn't a super obvious Marshal, I can save the Marshal, let him take the sergeant, and then maintain this bluff over here. But then that gives his Marshal a really strong position in the center that he can use to come down with a minor, if I let his Marshal remain. So I don't know about that. That's pretty tricky. Let's see, his Marshal was pretty far to this side, considering he moved it over here to get my colonel to attack it, and I decided not to. I'm thinking of like the chances this would be the flag. That like if I didn't trade marshals, maybe I could launch a bit of a counterattack. But I don't know. I fear my flag is obvious, and I fear it's kind of obvious no matter what I do. Unfortunately, I've kind of not done myself a favor by digging a bit of a hole here. This is a difficult decision. I think I'm going to. If I trade marshals, then he's going to immediately trade generals, and then he's just going to come down with this most likely major. And then I'm going to have to, like, run my captain this way. He's going to have his entire will over these two sides. But he kind of has that anyway with this marshal. I'm going to let him have the sergeant, I think, because I think I can expend the sergeant to at least try this, given that I'm up. I was up 2 of them, now I'm up 1. I think that's worth it. And this is going to be a minor, as predicted. No surprise there. Okay, so let's come over with this this marshal, so to say. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Let's do that, just see what he does. Oh wow, he's just going to straight up take it. Okay. Whatever. He's taken a lot of risks, and I think I just have to take that, and that's just how it is. Okay, so I didn't expect him to be so rash with his marshal there either. He is going to move up here, which is going to get him my last scout. I wonder if I might be able to save. It's a bit greedy if I move up with this scout, because he might take the captain, which would be devastating. Or he might choose to trade, which would be what I want. And if I force the trade, then he just gets the scout. Which... Well, no, because one of these could be the spy, so no, he can't do that necessarily. That's okay. I don't think he can move here, because this could be the spy here, yeah. So I think he has to kind of let me trade here, which I have to trade, because, I mean, you know, this could be... So what is that? That's probably the spy, right? Yeah, okay. So I guess I'm going to do that. If he wants to take that scout and reveal a major, then he can do that. Alright, one of these is going to be a lieutenant, and the other one is probably a major, so I'm going to let him take with the lieutenant, and then I'll probably know the major. Or not. Okay. He really does not care about the fact that I'm trying to, like, go to his flag right now, I guess. Interesting. I think what he's doing, I think he's, like, coming down with a major in the center. Let me threaten him with my spy and see what happens. Okay. Do I want to take that? It'd be a lot better if I took it with my, if I got a lieutenant for it. Which one do I think is the major? That's the real question. Do I think he was trying to come down sneakily with this inconspicuous piece here, or do I think it was really obvious? I'm going to take this. If that's his major, that's unfortunate. Okay, and it is. That's well played. Alright, so now I have to be scared of minors. Oh, okay. Well, that kind of tells me maybe the flag's over here a little bit. Because why would he suicide a minor on this piece? He's got so many lieutenants. Why would he suicide a minor on this piece unless he was scared of it going this way? But why wouldn't he just block with this lieutenant anyway? It doesn't really make any sense. This captain being buried here is really not helpful at all, given the fact that my spy right here, that's not very good. He did well to come up with a major really, like, overly obvious, which kind of made me think that it was, you know, probably not a good piece after all. And then he did very well to just wait and sit there and not take the scout immediately. If I can get his miners, that's, you know, kind of hopeful. But I'm going to have to excavate my captain at some point. Yeah, that's really tricky. Okay, what if I continue to go this way? Does he have like a flag like this? Maybe probably a lieutenant here. Oh, interesting. Okay. I think I'm kind of forced to lose a piece here, really, because I don't really have any. Okay, at least he's gonna like track with this spy now, I think. Okay, this frees up my captain. I had to do that. That was really unfortunate positioning, really. Okay, that's, I guess his flag there is what he's telling me, I suppose. This is probably a lieutenant. I would be surprised if it was not. I guess I'm just going to leave that there because that's a lieutenant that's going to trade. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, this is probably a lieutenant. I hope he hits me. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so I'm up a captain, down a major, down 2 lieutenants. My captain is now free, which is important. I think I know where his flag is, which is also important. Okay, that's probably going to be a minor. And I think we're going to play run around the lake until he finds my flag. Bomb expected. Okay. Now if I go off with my captain, I try to go like lot over here or kill some of these pieces, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Like I don't think it's feasible because he's going to follow me with this major and he's going to be able to trap it unless I kill 2 of his lieutenants, which he's not going to let me do because he's not a bad player who's just going to let them sit there. So I think the only thing I have to do is to run around the lake, and eventually he's going to find my flag, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything I can really do about that, just because there's really only 2 feasible positions for my flag. So I think at this point it's a bit of a waiting game, unfortunately. I think I wish I had not put myself in a position where I kind of guaranteed the loss of one of my captains, so to say. And that makes my flag extra obvious for, you know, obvious reasons. Now that there's only really one spot where the flag could be. Let's do that. I mean, I know he's got pieces that can really combat my minor here, so this is not really going to do anything, but better than nothing, I suppose. This is probably 2 bombs here. This is going to be a minor that opens the bomb to my flag, unfortunately. Yeah. Expected. Okay, so I'll go here, and then we'll, I don't know, mess around over here because I have nothing else to do. Alright, I think I have to retreat here. Unless I think his flag is over here, which I know for a fact it's not. Because one of these is going to be a minor, I think, or like a sergeant or lieutenant sitting here. And then 2 of them are bombs, and then the other 2 bombs are over here. So I guess I retreat here. Trade that off, and then of course, very soon he's going to come down with another piece and just take the flag. No. Well, I guess I'm going to die pretty soon here anyway with this piece. Ah, okay. Well done. Well, good game. It's unfortunate that I lose so many points to losing against a good player because he's so lowly rated at the moment, but definitely no shame in losing to him. I think it was a decent game overall. I think I did pretty well to at least make it somewhat of a game after being down 2 majors really early and him having such a strong assertive positional advantage over me. But I think ultimately, even though I was able to be up 2 captains, I didn't know where the major was. I didn't really set it up well that I could find the major. And I think that's what led, losing one of the captains led to really the game because I couldn't control 2 lanes anymore. So he played well, better than I did. I'm not too unhappy with that at any rate. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.